Okay, so we're back. Here's a little messy, right? Doing the software engineering thing. Guys, I recognized yesterday we had what was it, episode 1 of the series. So what we did yesterday, I forget, it was in the React Auth project, and it was a kind of a plant application. Just kind of in the moment, we could have built more to it, but I actually wanted to go down the journey of building something a little bit larger than just kind of these little applications. Something that's definitely going to push me, because I will be very 100% transparent. I don't know if I'll be able to build some of the things right now, and especially to the enterprise level that I do want to build this application. And it's going to be a full stack task manager. So I'm literally starting from like ground zero. This Hello with Express was an old deal. So I've got my VS Code on this side of the screen, or this monitor. I'm going to go ahead and drop this task manager over here, and episode 2, we're going to build, I guess, in my brain, it's going to be this full stack kind of enterprise. It's definitely going to be more than one episode. That is for sure. And to be honest, like, I don't know how I'm going to tackle some of the bits on it, because it's kind of a larger application. I was talking with my trusty intern ChatGPT on kind of the tech stack I'm going to use and what I need to build it out. So let me get that over here. But yeah, I've got like an 8-week agenda built out as well. Might be a little bit aggressive for this application. But yeah, so I'm going to go through some of the tech stack with you guys, and maybe I can build, let me pull up another Google tab. I'm going to build Google Docs for this and have just a, let's see, task manager doc. Okay, cool. So this will be a little bit of a to-do list, or some sort of structure of what I'm going to build here. And I want to get some more of the, so it's going to be a full stack application. So we're going to need front-end tech, we're going to need back-end tech, we're going to need DevOps. Newsflash, we're going to pop it off to AWS. Backend, I'm going to use Node.js for the backend, and I'm still torn on the front end. I don't know if I want to use Next. Next is probably my least of the front end frameworks. Nuxt, I'm very competent in. So the challenge would be to use Next. Nuxt, I know how everything roughly works, and I really do like the Vue environment, so maybe that is one advantage. I could use Nuxt. But for the challenge and in the application, maybe Next would be what we use. I could do React, maybe. So we'll put a little asterisk here. We don't know yet on the front end stack, but obviously we're going to need some sort of state management. What third-party integrations are we going to need? I definitely want third-party integrations. I definitely want some sort of Stripe, of course, some sort of payment portal. Not sure if people will actually use it as a task manager thing, but I do want to build this out to be like a enterprise strong thing, right? Where .yaml, we're going to have contracts, but I do want it to be like roughly a strong quality application, right? I don't want it to just be this, you know what I mean? Dare I say the word bummy, right? I do want to clean up my vocab, but bummy type thing. I don't want to build that. I want to build something of quality and substance. So that's where kind of this application in my brain is leading to, something where it is You know, we got to deal with authentication. So do I want to use AWS Cognito or maybe OAuth 2? Let's think. Let's refine some of this tech stack a little bit. Let's see what my trusty intern said earlier. Okay, so let me get this mic a little bit closer to my face. So we need the UI UX, which I did work on earlier with our little thing, our little what is this called? The UI Zerd. Would highly recommend it. It's just great for, you know. I don't think I'm going to stick to it 100%. I think I'm going to kind of look at Jira and steal some of their ideas with like the Kanban board. I think that would be really cool to implement. Don't know how easy that is or how hard it is, but would be cool to do. Let's see. What else do we need? So backend, of course, we're going to use Express. For API development, databases. Ooh, this is where it gets a little bit dicey for me. SQL. I have used Mongo. I do like Mongo, of course, because just you get to build out the schemas very easily. I'm actually very limited experience in SQL databases, so this will be a challenge. I would feel much more competent doing MongoDB and Nuxt on the front end, but I think in the spirit of going through a challenge, I think using a SQL backend database would be a great challenge, because it's like even MongoDB would be a struggle for me, but at least for an application of the functionality that I'm, you know, kind of panning for here. But let's just make it even more challenging by doing the SQL thing. I think that's going to be great. So front end over here, Chad Jibita said, let's use Next, but we'll see. That would be the one part where I would give myself a little bit of a break, because writing some of the backend stuff is going to be a challenge. I've used AWS Cognito for authentication, kind of my own auth at times with JSON web tokens, but OAuth 2 would be great. So yeah, let's do OAuth. What is RBAC? What is that? RBAC software. Role-based access control. Okay, is that like IAM roles or something? I imagine it is. So this might be a much larger build. We might not integrate that. Type ORMs. What is type ORM used for? Object relational mapper. Okay, so mapping your... Oh, that's so interesting. I've mapped on the front end before from querying GraphQL endpoints, which was a super creative idea. I will pull that up because I did like what I did there. And the reason why I did it was, here, I'll show, because the GraphQL endpoints, they potentially could change at, you know, any point in time if there's some sort of new thing we're adding, like new special instruction, or, you know, something you might add, or there was a lot of renaming that happened. So I actually just mapped everything to what I wanted it named on the front end, which I thought was a really powerful technique to do. So I guess in short, looking at the tech stack, I hope type ORM is similar to that, just on the database side, I guess, from querying stuff. Object relational mapper, I'll have to learn more about that. Not intimidated by it. We'll see. Okay, what else? Let's see. Testing. Of course, we want to have testing in there. It says to use Jest, but I do want to use Cypress. Testing. do want to use Cypress. I do like their testing suite. It's really pretty for me. Oh, out of water here. Need to go get some more in a hot second. Maybe I'll throw on a hat too. The hair's a little messy, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're gonna use. So we got Express, of course. Auth, PostgreSQL, some sort of SQL database. So maybe a Postgres. Swagger for API documentation. Contract / API docs. Swagger Hub. We will definitely integrate that. C# is really nice. The ASP.NET core, they have that readily integrated in there. It's pretty awesome. That was a fun build I did. Bit ago on the front, of course, we're going to use Tailwind. Of course, I wouldn't even put that here as a thing, but whatever. State management. If we use Nuxt or Vue, if we use Vue, we'll go with Pena, of course. And if we go with the React ecosystem, so Next or React, we'll use Redux, obviously, probably RTK, Redux Toolkit for state management. So Redux Toolkit or Pena if we're in Vue, or Nuxt, we'll use the latter. Really do like Pena. They have these setup stores that is very much like a just React component, basically. Same with Vue's composition API is really, really, really powerful. I like it. It was an easy transition into. Okay, so we got WebSockets for the front end for real-time updates. I will need to brush up on that, or socket.io. This is going to be a fun challenge because I got to be honest, like there's a lot of these things that I was not leading on other projects. With the project I'm leading currently, I'm leading the front end. So there's a lot that I'm doing there, which is like deciding these things and this and third-party integrations. But some of this other stuff like WebSockets, Swagger Hub, contracts, YAML files, backend Express, like this is all going to be just in the moment, figuring it out and wrestling with it. So it should be fun, challenging, probably at times, very frustrating at other times. Of course, we need Docker for DevOps. And do we want to use AWS or Azure, right? Is the question. So it says for file uploads, definitely we want S3 buckets. So put that in the back end, I guess, for file uploads. That's or Multer, I guess. Multer and S3 buckets. Not sure what Multer is, but I'll figure it out. Email notifications. Ooh, is it like a Twilio thing? What do we need for email notifications, real-time collaboration features? So this is going to be awesome because I don't want it to get too big, but I do want it to be big enough as a challenge. And this is already going to be a pretty solid challenge dealing with authentication, full stack functionality, obviously pagination, next tokens, all these things. Okay, documentation. We want what else? Email notifications. SendGrid or AWS SES has email notifications. So these will kind of be, I guess, bonus things like email notifications. Stripe. Well, this should not be a bonus thing. That will definitely be in there. Email notifications. AWS, SES, or SendGrid, one of the two. Okay. So there's some technologies I haven't used and stuff that I'm not the most competent in, like the Swagger Hub. So it should be a fun challenge. Obviously, in the backend, we'll use cores and what's the other thing we need? OWASP security stuff. Definitely want OWASP security. I have a little cheat sheet that I've used previously. And OWASP security is there. There's all these standards. Just for security on both the front end and back end, they have a ton of tips and advice and kind of cheat sheets, if you will. OWASP top 10. Where is it? Talking about how to prevent cross-site scripting and all sorts of other things. I do have the cheat sheet somewhere where I went through, let's see, authentication and session management, cross-site scripting attacks, all of these things, right? CSRF. Yeah, and I'll definitely run some stuff by my software friends too, just to make sure I'm kind of on the right track and building some stuff. But obviously don't plan on fully deploying this to a, well, you guys will see a lot of it actually, so we'll see. But the idea is I want this like built out application that's feature rich, certainly a challenge that's going to push my skill set. And it's a bit of a journey. It gives us a little bit of content to work with. That's what I was watching the video back last night, the episode 1. It was really entertaining to watch actually. But I do, want to give some sort of like thing that I could look back on and see, okay, well, there's a challenge here, challenge here, challenge here. And I think this would be, again, just leapfrogging off yesterday's kind of momentum of just an awesome thing to start documenting of like, yeah, there's literally stuff in here that I've never worked with, and there's stuff here that I'm really competent in. So we'll see how it all plays out, and I think that's a fun way to kind of build stuff or challenge yourself. And I think it is an appropriate challenge for my current skill set, right? And I would recommend that. So like every time I've built something, whether it was like this TensorFlow application where it takes, like this was a challenge for me to build. I didn't know how to work with TensorFlow APIs and to analyze body parts. On like it was a fun challenge to get all of this stuff working roughly together, where it shows me, not with 100% accuracy, but it could show me what body parts are roughly on screen. So stuff like that, it's like fun to build. It's enjoyable, where you don't know if you're going to do it, and then when you do it, you're like, okay, that was really cool. It was a huge challenge, and the TensorFlow application, that was like a 1 day or 2 day build. But this isn't going to be a 1 day or 2 day. This is going to be like a 1 or 2 month, if not more, type build, where I'm expecting a lot of feature-rich things to come out of this. So if we look at like a Jira task manager type thing, like there's a lot of stuff that goes into just this alone, and this is roughly what I kind of am building, is some sort of task manager, obviously my own way. So you have, and this is just one of the tabs where you have lists, and you have these functions that or this functionality of, you can change the status, you can give it a priority, due date, you can assign it to somebody, and the task itself has an ID. So it's going to take some thinking on my end on like, how do I approach this? I'm going to have to talk to other engineers. More than likely, I've got a great buddy that I already know I'm going to use. I have a feeling he knows who he is. But I will certainly ask him some questions. So it should be fun. And the Kanban board, I think the list itself and the Kanban board, maybe the timeline. I think those three things, like a landing page, a sign up flow, just kind of like your front end stuff, and then a list, the Kanban board. I think the summaries of everybody's, so like all the Kanban boards, I guess, and then the individual Kanban board. I think that would be a lot of that. Well, I don't think it would be. That would be a ton of functionality. So maybe I could streamline some of it. Yeah, maybe I won't do individual Kanban boards. Maybe I'll just have a summary of all the Kanban boards. Or is the summary in Jira, is that all the tickets? I think it's all the tickets, which wouldn't be as bad, I guess. Okay, yeah, maybe I'll start with these three. I think that's already going to be plenty of material to work with. Is the summary, the list, the Kanban board. I would really like to do the timeline though of like when tasks were assigned and when they got completed, and if you could visually see it on like a graph or something would be awesome. Yeah, so let's pop a little description in there of what I had ChatGPT kind of describe this application as. So here we go. Boom. Description. Boom. Comprehensive bug. So you get this little thing. How to get rid of the background is you go to something else, hit Command Save, get a text box, paste it in there. Command A, steal the text, and pop it back in. Should get rid of that background. That's one way to do it. So comprehensive task management / bug tracker platform offering project collaboration, real-time updates, and monthly subscriptions. Built in Next.js, Node.js, and Postgres with enterprise-level security and mobile compatibility. Do we make it a PWA? Do we build a React Native version? Questions. You know, that would be a pretty big add to build some sort of PWA. Wouldn't be as bad. If we do mobile responsive, yeah. You know what? I think making it a PWA. If I could do it in the React ecosystem, so Next on the front end on the web side, and then React Native on the mobile side. I think could be a cool kind of thing. I just like, we can keep growing. Like the timeline's just going to get larger and larger on building this, because all those things are just adding. You know what I mean? Each little piece of technology that I add is going to make it more complex, or each thing that I add of, you know, stuff from Jira. If we're like, well, let's build out all the functionality, then obviously like that's, you know, could be a year-long build or more, to be honest, because it's quite a bit of functionality. So I don't want to do that. I do want it to be like a 3-month type build. At least when you consider like full stack, all of it. Maybe it'll take longer, maybe it'll take shorter. I don't know what's a I don't know what the timeline will end up being. Roughly, I've got an 8-week timeline, but I'm already anticipating it taking much longer, by 150% longer. So that would be a 3-month timeline, but we'll see. We will see. So obviously in version control as well, we need that. Contract API docs. Boom, 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 boom. Let me pop this down as tech stack, and do I even say version control for Bitbucket or Git? Which one do I use? Version control. We could do Git. That's fine. They're the same. Okay, so I think that's a solid. with questions to like bonus features like the email notifications, maybe email text notifications. I really don't want to add too much stuff where it gets ridiculously complicated, right? So here's the design I have. I do want to kind of generate different colors on it, though. I don't like this light blue. I don't like some of the images and stuff it's provided us, but I do need a rough UI UX design that I can design the other stuff myself, or at least figure it out on the fly. But we do need some sort of design. So let's I was prepping for it a little bit last night. So a task need landing pages, app login page, sign up flows, etc. And it didn't really do too much. Let's see. Should I make it dark themed or light themed? I feel like it should have both, right? I feel like it could have both. Of course, a little light and dark theme. Maybe that's what I could do with the tech stack. I mean, that's bird's eye view tech stack, and then maybe I could have a section on each one of these things to kind of expansively look at the front end and expansively look at the back end, and the functionality that I need. So I don't know. I've never personally built a huge feature-rich application single-handedly by myself. The application I'm leading the front end on. I also have a dear friend of mine who's leading the back end. He's a very, very talented back end engineer, and that helps because I can bounce ideas off of. He can help me with what he knows on the front end, and I can ask him or communicate ideas how I would imagine something working on the back end. Like we have this task pool idea that we collaborated pretty strong on. So that helps having a teammate for sure, or teammates. Well, this is kind of a good design. Welcome to Taskify. It's not really like a Jira thing though, where you can like see these clean Kanban boards, or like these, here's my first task, here's my second task. So I don't like how large it is. I do like maybe like a user page where, and side note, I think this part's really important part of an application where you take a little bit of time just to plan it instead of just coding, like just diving straight into the code, because I need to know roughly what I'm building, right? Did you find this generation useful? It was more useful. Can I tell it I need like 50 screens? I need I need 40 screens and UX, right? Or how about 40 screens? We'll leave it at that. I need 40 screens. If not, I'm going to use a lot of probably Jira's thing, because it's just really clean, and I won't copy it exactly. I think that's not appropriate to do, but maybe it'll be a little bit of a blend from like what we can construct with this UI Zerd and a little bit of what I can do, and then a little bit of Jira. It'll kind of be a mold of those three things. So let's see if it does 40 screens. It's a lot. That's a lot of screens. Really don't need 40, but I just wanted to kind of build a lot of stuff so we could pick from it. It definitely did not do 40 screens. Okay, but I do like this design. It is looking kind of good. Holy crap. Taskify, collaborate, prioritize, and stay. Good morning, John Doe. Next team meeting. Oh, that is cool. It has like a team sprint planning, my task, and that could be kind of the Jira. Okay, this might be a good, yeah, I like this. I like the feel of this one already. This would be like the Kanban board. Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect. Just these three things alone is fantastic. And then of course we have like our user profile and settings page. Maybe these are like tasks completed, projects you're associated to. Okay, so yeah, I like this design a lot. I think this is what I'm going to go for. And let's see if I can build roughly a mobile version of this. So if I just click this over to mobile and boom. But yeah, that was beautiful. That was a great build of it. Oh, it's probably actually going to build 40 screens on mobile. Oh no. But yeah, that was right on the nose of everything we need, I think. It was perfect. It showed kind of a little landing page of a login screen. Obviously, I'd build something else with a landing page, and that would be previous to the sign-up flow. Oh, this app is just powerful. So this is what it looks like on mobile, I guess. We could have something like this. So calling this one Tasky versus Taskify. And I don't need it to be, you know what I mean? I don't need it to be perfect on mobile or perfect on desktop. I just need enough to work with, and you know, we'll roll from there. So I do like the dark design that it just provided us on Taskify. Oh no, I hope it didn't. I thought if I went back, it would just kind of cache it in my my designs. I hope it does. Oh, it does right there. Perfect. Okay. That is great. That is fantastic. Taskify this is going to be the one we roll with. It looks great. I think it's a solid application. You know, I might change a few things, but overall, why not? I think that's an amazing start. So we've got the design. And I think it's time to get building. So I'm going to build how I know how to build, which is start with the typography and kind of the color palettes and initializing obviously the project, getting the GitHub repository. And yeah, we're going to just start hammering this thing out, I guess. Okay, so we got a rough idea, I think. Design's done. Maybe I can copy and paste the UI UX in there. Inspiration. I'm going to screenshot this. Boom. And screenshot this. Boom. And the Kanban board, of course. I think those are the three kind of main things I definitely want to hit is some sort of login page, of course, and then boom. So those three, just in case we lose them. So I don't know how many designs I get with that UI Zerd. I think I'm only limited to like 5 custom at a time or something, but I had like 50 when I saw, so we'll see, but this will do for now. So we have them, and let me bring them up to here with the inspiration, keep them there. Great, so that's enough for the task manager doc, and I am in my packs and management. Just needed to make sure I know which file I'm in or which project I'm in. Okay, so inspiration. I think I want this all kind of like this main part as just that one component right here. I believe is what it is. Let me bring in the zoom in version. So that'll just be, if I can get all this functionality in there, I would love it to just be like just right there. And some of these things we'll have to kind of consider what the task will be, like stay updated with your daily task. Like maybe that would be task completed or something like out of the task you're assigned. Would be kind of an interesting thing. I do like the team meeting, having the ability to like just click on a team meeting and it'll take you there, or maybe like a modal will pop up or something. Settings, I'll probably get rid of that button. Don't really need it on this page. I think this will be just application-oriented stuff. Next sprint planning, I do like that as well, that you can kind of have team meetings and sprint meetings. So we'll have a completed task. I'll change this to. This is perfect because I can definitely ask my buddy on some of these things next team meeting. Now that I'm realizing this task manager would be serendipitously close to at least one part of the application we built. Just it's going to be a different approach. That was more for like these Jira Kanban style tasks are like really heavily oriented. The application we built or are currently building is more just like the task had like 3 or 4 things it could do, but a Jira style, I think there's a lot more data and functionality associated with each one of these tasks. So I've completed tasks, some sort of feature like that. This will be the Kanban board here. I do like some sort of graph chart here. I'll probably custom make it. I have some ideas on how to custom make a bar chart, and I don't think I'm gonna do subscription plan. Maybe this will be the timeline of like task completed timeline. Task completed this week or something. That way you can like visually see. I do like a calendar where you can kind of see what tasks are assigned this day or the next day. So I need all the functionality of recording task. Each task is going to have, someone it's assigned to. The task is also going to have dates that it's assigned at a certain time that we could see. This is going to be a challenging build, but a fun one, I think. I think fast forward, 2-3 months, and let's assume this goes relatively successful. It'll be cool to look back on. View full schedule. So that would be viewing all of the tasks that day, I believe, which I'll just have you could scroll through. I won't have a button probably. You could just always do that. So that roughly gives us some starting material here. This Kanban board, don't need to change too much. I think a Kanban board between Jira and this design will be perfectly adequate, where someone can kind of drag tasks along, and then when they're done, I'll have an option to kind of slimify them to make them like this height. Yeah, okay. And I mean, just some functionality and custom functionality, like that would maybe be kind of something cool that I can add there, where when you're completed with the task, it shrinks so it doesn't take up the same amount of space when you have 80 tasks completed. And I do want them draggable. I think that would be really, really, really interesting to do. Then, of course, we have some sort of notifications. So that would be like the WebSockets thing. Like maybe you can comment on these tasks individually. You can click on them, a window pops up or a modal pops up of the task, kind of like Jira style. That sounds like a lot more work, though, to be honest. But I'm here for it. I'm here to try at least. We could filter them, it looks like. And then, of course, we have our settings and maybe personal profile stuff. So maybe the personal profile we can maybe get rid of. Or it says completed task, hours spent, skills developed. They're active for like the sprint. Okay, we'll roll with it. These 6 screens. I'll probably add a 7th, just like a landing page. And this will also need to be a sign up and login page. So it'll need both sign up and login, not just login, right? Priority level, obviously that would be login username. So, but I'm not going to correct all the tiny little details on this UI UX. It's just a rough idea. I think it's done more than enough for that. So, and the other UI UX I'll kind of need to mock up or generate as a mobile version. And I wish there was a mobile version of this, because I'll have to make a mobile version, but I have some ideas. Because I definitely want to build mobile first, but like I don't know how this would work mobile first, for instance. If I'm just on a tiny screen, how would you? Maybe I'll look at Jira's and see what they did for their stuff. But okay, there's still a lot of stuff to do, just configuring the project, logging into GitHub. Let's see what we can do. I do have a folder over here, task manager, right? To build the front end. I'll drag this over here so we can kind of see what I'm doing. I'll build the front end folder, and I'll have a back end folder to be a mono repo. Do I do that right now? Maybe not the best idea, to be honest. Let me kind of hunker down, I guess, some of the, not the most sturdy on a mono repo like this, but do we have Docker in the DevOps in the tech stack, and maybe Kubernetes? Not that I would need it, right? I don't really need Kubernetes, because it's not like a Terraform, right? But it would be good to like implement that in the build. I think those are larger things. Maybe like dealing with load balancing or reverse proxies with like an Nginx on some sort of server, like a round robin kind of approach on delegating users to servers depending on which region they're in or which IP address they're. I mean, it can get as complicated as we want. So kind of these Nginx, is that how you spell it? I forget. Kind of all of these question mark ones, I don't know if they're going to make it or not. I'll say the PWA will make it, but the React Native, don't know. Kubernetes, Terraform, don't know. Nginx, don't know. But I think these other things should definitely be in there, right? The Stripe integrations, the OAuth. Definitely want to use Docker. Obviously, custom domains, little DevOps, little some sort of maybe lambdas it's deployed on, or an EC2 instance. I'll have to make some decisions. That won't be a question mark. And Nuxt.js. I think Next would be a great challenge for me, because I'm good with Nuxt. I just built and led a project with that, so I think doing it in Nuxt again would just, I would know how to kind of do a lot of things, and it would make it smoother. Definitely would. Maybe I should do that, but I'm kind of in the idea of I want it to be this like, you know, where I haven't used Postgres really on a larger build, right? Let alone really at all, to be honest. Versus like a MongoDB, you know, I'm much more competent in Mongo, and so yeah, even Cypress. Like I've definitely used Cypress a lot. So maybe we do use Jest. I haven't used Jest very much. I do like Cypress though for end-to-end testing. It's a really beautiful thing. So I don't know, but this kind of all is coming across as like roughly Obviously PWAs I've made before. Don't need DevOps in the DevOps thing. That's silly. But I just want it to be this thing where there's certainly enough here where definitely on the front end side I'm not too worried about. Some of this stuff not too worried about. A little bit of this. I think just the functionality associated with Node. Functionality. That's going to be a bit of a challenge, but I've built some backends before that have had great routing and great controllers and stuff, so I'm not overly concerned on it. And some of these things might change right down the road. I might start the project and be like, well, maybe we don't need this. My buddy said maybe I'd have a better approach at this. Maybe I should use Azure instead of AWS. But I think this is a good enough start. So let's just roll with it. I'm gonna build the README and GitHub. So built out the task manager. Great. Got the README. Where is my Okay. SSH into the project. Full stack, right? Boom. Okay. Let's see, creating a repository and okay, and let's see what we have here. It's going to be a bit of that going on. Okay, git add, git commit, stash, sure that works, and sweet, everything is up to date. Let me check on the repository. Updated now. Delete this, delete that. Okay, settings. So we'll get into the funner part, or at least some of the funner part here shortly. Just kind of doing the boring configuration stuff. So we've got the task manager. Let me just edit the README one more time. Commit changes, update the README. Yes, that's what I want to do. Awesome, and we're diving in. We are diving in. npx create. Oh, I don't want to do React. We want Next. Next create. npx create next app. Forgot how to do this. Okay, create next app at latest. Does it give you all the menus? My app. CD front end. We'll do that / in there. I don't want to name it something. I definitely want TypeScript. Yes. Linter, of course. Tailwind, src directory, no problem. App router. Like a custom to, no. Okay. Next.js. Ooh, this is my least confident out of the that and probably Angular, but out of the front end. Well, I've never actually used Svelte either, but out of Vue, Next, Nuxt, React, and Angular, Next is maybe at the bottom of the list of competency. So we will see how it goes and how to deploy it and how to do all these things, right? Sign into the console. Let's see. I don't want to log into that one. Let's log into this. Don't want ELC in this. Let me pop it over here. Forgot password. Perhaps I've forgotten the password. Okay, let's see if we did this right. Even over here, run dev. Awesome. I've logged into one account in AWS. We have some sort of issues here. PMI. We got React. We'll host a web app. Okay, view GitHub permissions. Should have it there. Connecting a monorepo. I am connecting a monorepo. Oh, have I not pushed? I thought I did. What did it say? Git pull before. Okay. Let's now refresh this. Check out the GitHub repo. I don't see it showing the thing. Oh, there it goes. Front end is now in there. Great. Okay, but the backend folder is not. Let me pop open to the backend real quick. npm init-y. Okay, so now the backend has something in there. We'll get add. Okay. Let's try this one more time. So we'll pop into the repo, say front end. Nice, it's letting us know that it's at least something's there, right? Build commands, I don't know how to deploy, so we might have to wrestle with this one. But I will already put that there now as a build command. So I have a feeling I will maybe need to do that in some regard or another. So let me cancel this out. CD front end. What is the next dev? What is it npm run next? Npm run start. What is the start script for dev? I thought, yeah. Is it not that? Exit starter failed at front end. This is probably not a problem with npm. It's like an additional logging output above. Huh? Hate to say it, but this is why I like Vue. I'm always going to say that. I'm always going to say that. messing around. But to some degree, I really do enjoy the Nuxt application. I think the Nuxt team for maybe it's just a lack of experience on my end. That's perfectly an acceptable thing for me to understand. But I will just say the Nuxt team, I really like what they did. I really do. I think it's a very, very, very strong application that they've or front-end framework that they've constructed. I like only have strong things to say about it. The only downside is there's not a lot of third-party support, so you do have to kind of figure some things out on your own, but I don't know. Overall, I don't have a problem using it. Does it come pre-installed with Tailwind? That is sweet. Oh, no way. And we deployed it too? Or are we about to? We're about to deploy it, I think. I think it did build and passed the build test, which is awesome. Maybe that's all it needs, was just a npm CI, legacy pure deps. Wow, and it built. That is so cool. Okay, well, we've already deployed it, at least on Amplify. That was easy peasy. But I'm not even running it. That's the problem. Not even running this thing. So that's really interesting to me. Okay, let's run this thing. Still, next dev. Is it npm run next? Let's go back to the package.json. It says dev. npm. Sure, it's always something dumb. It's always something dumb. It always is. Always is. Okay. So we're at the layout. The main, I could just use this to deploy it every time, but that would be horrible for changes, so we won't do it. But I should be able to just run dev. What does it say? Failed at front end 1.0 dev script. This is probably not a problem with npm. There's likely additional logging output above. Unexpected token. So it gets compiled. Not sure, guys. I'm not sure, but that was a successful video so far of just configuring. I keep bumping the mic, but just configuring the application, deploying it. We have a rough idea. Maybe on the back end, I can start building out the SRC folder. I definitely want to TypeScript. Backend, okay, boom. I'll figure it out. I know that. I will do that. Get the TypeScript command for the backend. Npm install TypeScript. Looks like npx init a TypeScript file. And here's how to compile the TypeScript. No inputs were found. Okay. That's all right. And we can, of course, install the types that come with that. And on the back end, let me just pop over to that. At least we'll get that up and running. MPI, NodeMon, Cores, Express, need all of it. And I'll need, of course, server.ts, and we'll say const import, what is it? Import Express from Express. npm I at type/express Let's see if that fixes that problem. Does. Nice, nice. And do I need to do the same thing with NodeMon? Is that a thing? Probably not, to be honest, now that I think about it. Okay, so we'll start. We'll have a NodeMon script. NodeMon src. Wait, what is this? src, right? Server.ts. src folder. Will that run? Const app, and then if I say app.listen, listen to, we'll say port 3000 right now. We'll say console log app listing on ports, and we'll say 3000. Let's see if, nope. npm nodemon server.js. TS would work, but no. Okay. Why? Why though? Why? Interesting. Is it just this? No. Is it just this? No. Okay. Why is that? Why is that? So if I just had it into, let's go on the back end, of course. If I just did NodeMon, would that work? Oh, you know what? App.use express. Oops. Pour cores from cores. Say app.use cores. And I think I need to install the course types. Okay. Let's try that. Okay, so right now I'm just using ChatGPT. I do that all the time just to clean up stuff and make it easy. That'll be huge use, of course, in our journey of all of this. I think this is all good to go. Let's see, boom, and server running on port 3000. Great. Okay, so we got the backend server running. Let's say app.get, we'll just say at home, rec.res, and res.send hello, and res.end, right? So now if I go to localhost and go to 3000, I should just see hello, which we do. So we know the server is obviously running as well because we see it here. And we obviously see it in the app itself. So we got the backend up and running in no time at all. I'm still wondering what I did wrong on the front end. So server, I'm going to pop that back into the src folder. Let's see what I need to adjust here. Obviously the app crashed. I just need to restart it. Is that all? Nice. That's all I needed to do. Okay, so I needed the -- exec flag, the ts - node, and that's what I love ChatGPT for, because ChatGPT is really good at that stuff, like the tiny details and just expediting a lot of the process, you know. I think one more thing I want to install is .env pmi at types .env env, excuse me, from .env. Don't even know if I need it or not, but basically I do want to have a env file, a .env, that this is going to have our port and some secrets and stuff like that on the back end, and front end will have one. So maybe I'll do 4545 for the port number on the back end. And I can just do, instead of, I could just do process.env .port, right? 4545, and same with over here, have this listing on process. So to keep the application a little bit more secure, right? That's why I would do a .env file for our environments. Make sure we're all running proper. Oh, meant to start it, not download more stuff. See if it still works. So we're not working. env equals required .env. Let's see. App listing on port undefined. Why? Why is that undefined? Why is that undefined? Okay. And I probably don't actually want it in, say 3001. It's fine with me. Okay, so it says recommend doing the fallback port, of course. .env, where do I stash? Where did this work? I thought this would just work like magic, no? Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. So what did it change? What did it change? Really don't see a change, but okay. Oh, .env config. That's what I needed. That's what I needed. So we'll say configurations up here. These will be middleware. Middlewares. And these will be our endpoints. And port, or server, excuse me. Routes technically, or I'll build a router and a controller, of course. Great, so we got our port up and running, kind of our backend. So I should be able to see that hello again on 3001, not 30,001, but 3001. And if we can test maybe some more stuff, test, say this is a test. So boom, this is a test, great. So that endpoint has something, that endpoint has something. Okay. Awesome. And I have not the strongest clue on how I'm going to build some of these things on the front end, especially the front end repo. I just like literally can't even get up and running. So maybe I will pop it over to a Nuxt application on the front end and keep it easier on myself. I know it's something simple and just stupid, but I really do like Nuxt. There's just something to it that Obviously, Next has all the support in the world, but it's just something about Nuxt. I love it. I really do. So I might pop it over to a Nuxt application. Might be the solution here, because I'm not at my home field on this Next application, but still just can't believe it's not just running, right? But I think for starters, for like a starter episode of this, or episode 2, right? We've got a lot done. We've planned out the little pop up here. We've planned out the UI UX roughly of what we need. We kind of refined the tech stack of what the application needs, what it's roughly going to do, what it looks like. Kind of this idea where we've deployed it on just AWS Amplify for now, but we want to get it over to some sort of serverless architecture. Yeah, it's going to be a huge learning experience for me, because this is kind of the DevOps area. There's only a few things that I'm good with, is Route 53, PWAs. I've messed around with Docker a little bit, but Kubernetes, Terraform, Nginx, Lambdas, EC2 instances, I've deployed on EC2s before, used them as servers. I've done cloud servers for some cryptocurrency nodes kind of a few years ago. But using Lambdas and using Lambda functions and things like that is going to be a whole different challenge, and it's going to be fun, hopefully, right? But you guys are probably going to witness me struggle a little bit in some of those areas. Hopefully on the front end, we can kind of cruise through a lot of the application outside of WebSockets and things like that. This will be like medium to slow speed, I think, between these two. The back end should be medium speed, hopefully. Say Postgres, probably medium slow, medium over here. Depending on how complicated and convoluted we get with DevOps, we're going to have kind of medium, and this will be medium fast, I imagine. Over here, this will be fast. So, and then obviously Git and UI UX is roughly already done. So, yeah, but overall, I think that's a great stopping point, roughly, and maybe a good idea for me to marinate on. Do I want to do the next thing? Because this is just such a silly thing, right? But I just don't want to deal with it at every corner. If I'm like, well, how do I integrate font awesome icons and just look like a doofus all the time, right? I'm okay to do it part of the time, but all the time is it's tough sometimes, right? But it could be a good challenge just to expand the horizons and get more competent in Next. I just hate things like this where you're like, I feel like it should be working, but it's not. So I'll sit on the Next side of things and see if that's where maybe I'll mess with it, kind of behind the scenes, and see if it's what I want to depart on this project with. I do like the idea of challenging myself and doing something a little bit that I'm not competent in. It could be fun. So, but that one I'm just on the fence about. Everything else I'm like, okay, it'll be a challenge, it'll be fun, so I'll kind of refine that. I'll probably end up sticking with it. It's just I just don't want to be slowed down by the front end, right? That's like my bread and butter, and it's something where I can kind of expedite some of the application timeline on, but everything else I know is going to be probably a challenge, or at least medium speed. So, but maybe in spirit, I'll just keep it all a challenge. But yeah, that wraps it up, I think, for episode 2. I love that this idea came to mind of building this task manager and documenting it and recording it. And and I didn't talk about the software engineering program. Of course, I've got my software engineering course. You can find it on Teachable. I'll link it below the description, obviously, of course. And yeah, cheers. Thanks for rocking with me. I am excited to see what this becomes in a few months, but I got to get off and eat some food. So bye, guys.